The hypocrisy of the PlayStation community knows no bounds. Yes, we know how the PlayStation community are hypocrites because they switch up their words, they switch up what they are saying based on how it suits their narratives. So sometimes you need to call them out, call out their hypocrisy, call out them for their two-tonedness. We just need to call them out, just like how this dude called out Next Gen 720.
I don't know, man.
And screw Next Gen. I don't care if you hear it or not. You a sellout.
Oh shit. Yeah. We.
Yes, you have to call them out. Look at this other call out here. I thought PlayStation 5 players buy games, and we are using the UK because for a number of months that is what they have consistently been using, the UK sales. Look at this report here. According to Christopher Dreng, in terms of UK boxed sales, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's opening week is down nearly 30% over the launch of the previous game. The first game came out during the peak of COVID lockdowns. Digital data arrives later in the week. Yes, I thought you PlayStation fans buy games. Look at this. Yes, Final Fantasy Rebirth sales are down 30%. How could this be happening? I thought the PlayStation community support their games. I thought they buy games, unlike Xbox gamers. Shame on you, PlayStation community, for not even buying this game. Shame on you for making the sales go down 30%. But we'll call out their hypocrisy a little later in the video again. At the same time, the Xbox community, we are eating good with Game Pass this month.
Finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
Look at the games we are getting on Game Pass for this month. MLB The Show 24. No one is talking about, PlayStation going third party all of a sudden, but we have a PlayStation game there. Control, another big game. No More Heroes, a game that was once exclusive to Nintendo. Lightyear Frontier, big game. Battle Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob to go along with that new SpongeBob Xbox Steam console. Ponies know they want that console bad. That's why they keep talking about it on Twitter. Yes, those are the games that Xbox fans would be, enjoying this month. But you know what? Today we are not here to talk about all of that. We are here to talk about how WB is basically saying that AAA games might be out of there. We are also going to talk about how 1 minute the PlayStation community is saying they cannot play 30 frames per second. I remember that argument. It's impossible. We are in current gen and 30 frames per second is unacceptable. Now a game that the PlayStation community wants to play, they are saying that 30 frames is okay. These sick ponies. Well, you know what? Let's talk about all that and more. So let's talk about it.
This is a sickness!
Let's get it. Today, before we start the video, let's take a look back at Now You Know gaming history. And today we are going to take a look at Splinter Cell. Yes, Splinter Cell was made in 2002 and it was published and created by Ubisoft. Now, Splinter Cell is a masterclass when it comes to that stealth type of gameplay, that genre of gameplay. It's a very, very, very good game. Now, this game was so well received when it was released that it got a 93 on Metacritic. Yes, 93 on Metacritic. Now, Splinter Cell, the first one, went on to sell over 6 million copies. So yes, fans also loved this series. Had fans, guessing and really thinking how would they take out, that next guard? How would they take out, this particular boss? Sometimes you had to take out the lights, you had to hide bodies, you really had to think if you had to play this game. So Splinter Cell is a game that most persons hold very dear to their heart. Let me know what you think or how you played Splinter Cell. Did you, was it easy for you? Did you had a difficult time? Was this game a really good game for you? Let me know in the comment sections below. Now, this segment was brought to you by the Let's Get It podcast, gaming podcast. This is a podcast that I would be starting, and before I started, no doubt I'm gathering funds to build me a rig. Yes, a good, capable rig so that I could stream from. Now, if you like to donate or help me out with this, here is my PayPal account. And let me just say thanks to those who would have contributed before. Your funds would be spent wisely. Now, if you can't send me anything, that's no problem. You liking, subscribing, and really supporting these videos is fine enough by me. So thanks again for all the support, guys. Let's get back to the video. First up, we caught these guys slipping again. You see, I recall very distinctly that a number of YouTubers, a number of Sony fans on Twitter said that they cannot play a game at 30 frames per second. Not that, okay, they think that this game shouldn't be 30 frames per second. They say they cannot play games at 30 frames per second because it's 2023, it's 2024. We need 60 frames per second or nothing. I remember that distinctly. I even remember they said that when it came to Redfall and Starfield, they made a big hullabaloo that this is what they need. You all remember? I'm not even going to show you the video clips of them saying that. I'm just going to show you the YouTube thumbnails. I'll show you also the tweets that they made concerning this, because it had so many videos talking about this that if I decide to show videos, this video will have no end. So look at all of these tweets where persons were saying and criticizing Starfield for being 30 frames per second. Well, there is a game that is going to expose their hypocrisy to the 10th degree, because this game is what you are seeing right now on the screen, which is Dragon's Dogma 2. This game is looking like fire. This game is looking like heat. And a number of PlayStation fans, after they saw this being previewed at the recent State of Play, they started to get excited for this game and they said, wow, this is an excellent game. Well, it just so came out that the series creators, the producers, the ones who are making the game came out and said that this game is going to be 30 frames per second. Yeah, buddy. So a reporter from the USAT network asked the series producer Hideki Isano from Capcom a question. He asked, so my first question is one that a lot of people are asking about online. Will Dragon's Dogma have an option for 60 frames per second on console? Hideki responded, for Dragon's Dogma 2, we'll feature uncapped frame rate performance around 30 FPS or above on console. On PC, it will depend on the specs of the machine. But for console, we are aiming for an uncapped frame rate around and above 30 FPS. Yes. So for all those guys like this,
Here you come, Arisen One.
Oh, this
Dragon's
game
Dogma
right
2, let's go, baby.
Dragon will appear before you.
30 frames a second. How you feel about that, Persona?
That's not confirmed.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Oh, now it's not confirmed.
Look out, Arisen! We're under attack!
This game got pushed back. It got pushed back to May.
Look here, beast. Come and
Damn, this look good as hell, bruh.
Ooh,
Ooh, dual blade? That's dual blade?
yeah.
Oh, he dropped
That's
a bomb on
warrior.
it?
There's a warrior class right here. Warrior into archer?
Oh, so you can mix up platforms.
Okay. Yeah.
Yo, this joint looks amazing, dog. Oh, ice! Hold up, Doomblade Mage. The ice shall be your grave.
This looks so incredible, bro. I cannot wait for this game.
Yeah, if this in 30 frames, I wouldn't even care. This looks amazing.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
So for all the guys, just like those two guys there, who would have said something about Starfield, who would have laughed that Starfield was 30 frames per second, who was basically saying they cannot play at 30 frames per second game, I am waiting. I know it's going to happen. I am waiting for you guys to post up gameplay on this. I'm waiting for you guys to say you guys are having fun with this 30 frame per second game, because the industry and the PlayStation fans alike all criticize Starfield for being 30 frames per second. No, everyone is in love with this 30 frame per second game. You guys are liars and hypocrites. But let me hear what you think. Do you think it's okay now to play 30 frames per second games? Let me know in the comment sections below. Now, I was about to have a whole segment here dedicated to WB saying that AAA games makes no sense to them, right? They are now kind of shifting gears from doing these AAA games to doing more games as a service and so forth. They are saying that games as a service is the future moving forward, and it's a direct, attack at what Sony was planning to do, or Sony's model, only focusing on these AAA exclusive. But I saw an article written by Push Square, of all places, Push Square, that says that Sony has a problem. The first news article or news site to say that Sony has a problem. I want you guys to listen to this article carefully and then we'll discuss it.
The problem with PlayStation right now: AAA troubles. PlayStation is in a precarious position. It's imperative we don't overreact. The global economy is, for want of a better word, in the gutter right now, and it's sad to see layoffs occurring across a spectrum of industries, not just gaming. But in the aftermath of a disappointing earnings report and an enormous downsizing operation earlier this week, we must take stock of the situation as it stands. Sony's gaming division is, in some aspects, firing on all cylinders. The Japanese giant is raking in record revenues, and while it's had to scale back its hardware sales targets, its current goal of 21 million units in the current fiscal year is no slouch. It'd be easy to overreact and paint PlayStation as a failing business, but that doesn't reflect reality. There's a lot of good among the bad. The division's big problem is that it's spending almost as much as it's making. In its most recent financial report, it registered record-breaking revenue of $10.2 billion, only to turn a profit of just $608 million. The optimistic viewpoint here is that it's a profitable business overall, but with margins as razor-thin as this, the firm is effectively one misstep away from plunging itself into the red. That's not healthy.
And that is what I've been telling you PlayStation dudes, that PlayStation is in trouble. And I don't know why it is persons like J-Dub and Porter Rock and the others, why they are not saying the truth. But
why would he say it? Because he's a liar. Nobody knows why liars lie.
This is why we're seeing seismic changes across the business, many of which have been poorly received by fans. The firm's push for successful live service games could guarantee ongoing revenue, although it's important to remember that the costs associated with maintaining these titles is also high. Nevertheless, companies like HoYoverse are making bigger profits than PlayStation right now. The division is also trying to expand beyond the boundaries of its own ecosystem, releasing software on PC and making plans to expand to mobile. The reality is that while the costs associated with creating blockbuster games like God of War and The Last of Us have dramatically increased, the size of the console install base has not. PS5 is unlikely to sell more units overall than PS4, for example.
And this is exactly what Phil Spencer said in his interview in the podcast that he had not too long ago. He said the gaming industry is not growing. The gaming industry is spending more money, not making enough profits, and that is a recipe for disaster. Hence the reason of Xbox and the management team, they are trying to expand the industry. But they said that the executive team are all lying.
This is one reason why we've seen the prices of software increase from $59.99 to $69.99, because software is simply more expensive to make but selling to roughly the same audience as it always has. As the scale and quality of games increases, so too do development budgets. To the most casual of observers, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is an iterative sequel, but leaked documents from Insomniac Games reveal it cost an eye-watering $300 million to make. That sum of money is simply unsustainable. The sequel may have gone on to sell 10 million copies, so the gamble has ultimately paid off, but Spider-Man is about as bankable as an intellectual property can be. The risks are much higher when it comes to less recognizable names, like Days Gone. You may love that game, but it's easy to see why Sony is having to think really hard about what it funds. Herman Hulst, the head of PS Studios, hinted at these problems in the company's statement about its recent layoffs. Delivering the immersive, narrative-driven stories that PS Studios is known for, at the quality bar that we aspire to, requires a re-evaluation of how we operate. In other words, these games are too expensive and take too long to make. But here's the rub. PlayStation has bet its entire first-party business on high-budget, cinematic single-player games, and now it's struggling to make the economics work. The fanbase is resolute. This is the software it wants. But the reality is that it's going to take teams several years and hundreds of millions of dollars to deliver them to the quality that's expected.
So in other words, exactly what I said, the PlayStation community is not enough. PlayStation is in danger, and anyone who has the model of Sony is in danger, because although AAA games are good and so forth, it is not making enough money for the amount of money that is put out to make it. The profits are too low, and the business is not working. That is very clear by this article. Now, this is a wonderful article here by Push Square. I would encourage you to go and read it. But let me hear what you think about everything that was said. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.